Oh, yeah.
And now, our feature presentation.
So we're coming out of one book today, even though I may quote some of these other ones, but it's all in this same one. Are y'all with me? All of it is in here. So now, our subject for today is the economic program, separation and independence. The word separate means to keep apart or divide, to put, thank you, to put or force apart, to set apart, to disconnect, to remove or sever. Thank you. To remove or sever. Independence means freedom from control or influence, support or aid, not influenced or controlled by others in the matters of opinion or conduct, not subject to another's authority or jurisdiction. Now, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, out of all of the leaders, has been the most successful in his dealing with black people in America. On page 194 of this book, listen to what he says. Our economic position remains at the bottom of the ladder because of this ineffective leadership and because so many of our people, ignore the basic rules of a healthy economic life. We fail to develop self-leadership in economics. Did y'all hear what he said? This man said that black people in America are at the bottom of the economic ladder. Can we prove that? I know you say, how is that possible? I was watching BET, and I saw a rapper with a platinum chain and a Bentley coupe on Dubs with 7 TVs. The boys in the hood got 6 cars, right? Now, in this book, there's a chart. This book is called The Jewish Phenomenon. And the author breaks down every ethnic group in the United States based on their race and their ethnic group, based on their income. So now at the top of this chart, now the average in the United States based on the book is 100. Anything that is above 100 is above average. Anything below 100 is below average. Y'all got that? The average is 100. At the top of this chart, you have the Jewish people at 172. That means that they're 72 points above average where it comes to household income. Below the Jewish people, you have the Japanese at 132. Below the Japanese, you have the Polish at 115. Below the Polish, you have the Chinese and the Italians, and they're tied at 112, meaning they're 12 points above average. Then you have the Germans and the Anglo-Saxons, which is another word for English, at 107. Under them, you have the Irish ranked at 103. Y'all with me? Under the Irish, you have the U.S. average, which is 100. So everybody below this is below average. Right under the U.S. average, you have the Filipino at 99. Then you have below the Filipino, the West Indian at 94. And below the West Indian, you have the Mexican at 76. Now I know what you're saying. I thought we was at least above the Mexicans. No, you're not above them because you make fun of them because it may be 50 of them living in a house. And you laugh and look at all them Mexicans coming out that house. Or maybe 20 of them driving down the street in a car. And you making fun of them because they're hanging all out the window. But they're all working every day. You unemployed in a house by yourself, can't pay the bills, and it's 20 of them, and all of them are working every single day. All praise is due to Allah. So now, if it's 50 of them living in a house, it's only one house note. It's only one electric bill. It's only one gas bill. It's only one water bill. It's only one food bill. They're working together to build something for themselves. So because they work together, yes, they're ranked above us economically. You talking about they coming in stealing your job. Why would you say something that crazy? You're not going to go pick oranges in Florida. You're not going to work in a meat packing plant. You're not going to pick strawberries and grapes. You're not going to do that. You're not going to plant grass on Stony Island. You're not doing that. So what are you talking about they stealing your jobs? They working the jobs that you don't want to work. Okay, let's move on. Under the Mexican, you have the Puerto Rican at 63. And then under the Puerto Rican, you have the black man and woman at 62, 38 points below average economically in the United States of America. Y'all with me? Now, we've been here the longest out of all of those groups except the Native American. We've been here the longest, right? If we've been here the longest, then why are we still at the bottom of the economic ladder in America, as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad just pointed out? So now, what does the Bible say? Because there's nothing wrong with us being at the bottom. It's the thing that's wrong is when knowledge comes that you stay at the bottom. That's what's wrong. Are y'all understanding me? So what does the Bible say? The Bible says in the book of Deuteronomy that the tail will be made the head. Did y'all hear that? The tail will be made the head. Then it says, Jesus says in Matthew that the last shall be first. You heard this in church, but they never married the spiritual teachings of Jesus with a way for you to make some money. So all you did was hear it in church, but you couldn't do nothing with what you heard. You understand what I'm saying? Praise be to Allah. Now, let's get a quote from James Baldwin, the man who wrote the book, The Fire Next Time. It's from the book, but it's on the back of Message to the Black Man. Listen to what he says. He says, Elijah Muhammad has been able to do what generations of welfare workers, committees, and resolutions and reports in housing projects and playgrounds have failed to do. He has done all of these things which our Christian church has spectacularly failed to do. So now, this man, James Baldwin, is saying that Elijah Muhammad did what generations of other people could not do. So now let's bring that into science, right? In physics, there's a formula for power. Power equals work divided by time. I'm going to say it again. Power equals work divided by time. Are y'all with me? So now, the car is more powerful than the horse because the car shortens the time of travel between point A and point B. That's why when the car was invented, everybody gave up the what? The horse. Now, you can drive from here to Atlanta, and it'll take you about 14 hours, right? But if you get on an airplane, right, now the plane is more powerful than the car because it shortens the time for you to get from point A to point B. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So now, if this man did what generations could not do, what is the power that's backing him up? You understand what I'm saying? It has to be greater than anything that we've witnessed. All praise is due to Allah. Now, let me quote to you a quote from Malcolm X. Malcolm X did an interview in Playboy magazine in 1963, May of 1963. This is what he had to say. Because if you look at the chart, which is in this book, The Jewish Phenomenon, based on household income, the Jewish people are at the top, right? If you look at what's going on with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and is what has been going on since 1985, there's a controversy between him and the Jewish community. Listen to what Malcolm X has to say, and then we're going to go on. Malcolm X in May of 1963, this is what he said: "But let's not forget the Jew. Anybody that gives even a just criticism of the Jew is instantly labeled an anti-Semite." Does that sound familiar? "The Jew cries louder than anybody else if anybody criticizes him. You can tell the truth about any minority in America, but make a true observation about the Jew, and if it doesn't pat him on the back, then he uses his grip on the news media to label you an anti-Semite. Let me just say a word about the Jew and the black man. The Jew is always anxious to advise the black man, but they never," listen carefully, "the Jew is always anxious to advise the black man, but they never advised him how to solve his problem the way the Jews solved their problem. The Jew never went sitting in and crawling in and sliding in and freedom riding like he teaches and helps the Negroes to do. The Jew stood up and stood together, and they used their ultimate power, the economic weapon. That is exactly what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is teaching black men to do. Now, hold on. All praise is due to Allah. Now, before you say, man, brother, see, I thought y'all were all about bringing people together. That sounds like anti-Semitism. That's a quote from Malcolm X. But now, is he right? That's the question. We're going to do this real quick. In this book, The Jewish Phenomenon, the author lays down 7 keys that lead to Jewish people's financial success. And conclude. In this book, it lays down 7 keys to the financial success of Jewish people. But the 7 keys that they shared with one another, they never shared these keys with you. But there is a man that shared all 7 and then some in this book. Tell me when y'all are ready. All praise is due to Allah. Now, this man in this book, Jewish Phenomenon, first key, real wealth is knowledge, right? What does the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach on page 39 and 41 of Message to the Black Man? He teaches us to get knowledge to benefit self, right? Now, they never taught you that, but this man taught you that. Are y'all with me? The second key, support your own people's businesses. Man, that's a great idea. What does the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad say on page 171? Spend your money among yourselves. Now, they didn't teach you that, but this man taught you that. This man, he says the third key, become professionals and entrepreneurs. What does the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach? And the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Pool your resources, education and qualifications for independence, and do something for self. The fourth key that they shared with themselves but never gave us was develop verbal confidence, encourage children to ask questions, and explain things to them. Y'all got that? What did the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad do? He established a Muhammad University of Islam. What did the Honorable Louis Farrakhan do? He established a Muhammad University of Islam. The fifth key, he says, be selectively extravagant, but prudently frugal. Meaning, if you're going to spend some money, spend it on a college education. If you got $50,000 to spend, spend it on an education. Don't spend it on a Bentley coupe. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So, you know, if a Negro get $50,000, they're going to the mall, right? They're going to buy a new car, right? So now, what does the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach? And the Honorable Louis Farrakhan? Stop buying expensive cars, fine clothes and shoes before being able to live in a fine home. The sixth key that they shared with one another, but they never got around to telling you this when they were advising us in the civil rights movement. Celebrate individuality and encourage creativity. What does the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach? Accept your own and be yourself. Then, the seventh key that they teach one another but never taught you, have something to prove, have a drive to succeed. And the way they do that is that when their children are babies, they teach them about the Holocaust from when they're babies until they leave home. But if we bring up to you about the horrors of slavery, then you think we're trying to get you to hate white people. No, we're trying to get you to understand what has happened to us so that you, as a black man or woman, all praise is due to Allah, will have something to prove. They have a group of Jewish billionaires called the Mega Group, and all they do is spend their money making sure nobody ever forgets the Holocaust. That's why it's a movie about it every year. 20 documentaries, TV shows. Now, are they wrong for that? Are they not wrong for that? We need to do the same thing. Are y'all with me? Let's move on.